Good morning, my neighbors!
Ladies and gents, it's time for an alternative paper review.
It's the alternative paper review.
First up today to The Sun with another world exclusive. Harry's pants sell for £250,000. I mean, you could have had mine for a fiver. I mean, it's the journalists I feel sorry for, right? What's up, Ellie? You come a long way since entering a reality show to become a tabloid journalist. Yeah, that is who is the showbiz editor for The Sun now. I mean, is there anything more bottom of the barrel than that? Entering a reality show to become a tabloid hack. Christ. Imagine going through something as humiliating as that just to win a job that nobody respects. I mean, that is like entering a beauty pageant to become a traffic warden. Anyway, yes, this is the story that Harry's pants have sold for £250,000, which is just like, why? You know, why would you pay? Like, what hole are you filling in your life? Like, why would anybody pay 250k for Harry's pants? You know, like Kurt Cobain's guitar, sure. Marilyn Monroe's dress, okay. But Harry's boxer shorts for 250 grand? Like, really? Like, we really are in the nadir of media and popular culture now, aren't we? When you've got reality show winners becoming tabloid hacks to talk about a royal's pants. I mean, should we go the whole hog, you know, and commission a reality show that features, like, rather than celebrities and rich people who are at the peak of the socioeconomic ladder, we take our contestants from the lowest rungs of the socioeconomic ladder. It'd be like, you know, convicts and killers, you know, take them out of Broadmoor and Pentonville and put them in the Big Brother house. This is where media and pop culture are headed, I promise you. Just a load of convicts and killers, and in it, like, they're still under house arrest, right? So it's kind of okay, but then the public get to vote on, in the grand scheme of things, who they like best out of Rose West and Ian Huntley. Like, yes, they've made some mistakes. Of course they have. But did you see Ian's rendition of Whitney Houston in the diary room? Oh my days. Oh, lordy. I reckon let him out, you know. He's a good crack, isn't he? Everyone deserves a second chance. I mean, you know, we laugh, but there were rumours about O.J. Simpson going into the jungle, which is not that far off. And the viewing figures and the tabloid coverage and the uproar, the scandal, you could even call it house arrest, couldn't you? God, I'm wasted here. Figuratively and literally. Meanwhile, as we propel ourselves deeper into the sun... Wait, hang on a second. What's this? If loading a dishwasher was a sport, I would win every time. 5 do's and don'ts. Oh my God. Have Adrian Charles's impressively boring Guardian articles been picked up by The Sun now? Like, I don't want to spend this whole thing bashing the pop culture bin that is The Sun, but have they seen the number of shares that Adrian Charles's articles get on Twitter? Like, ironically. And then they've taken it at face value, you know, like, this guy's really popular. Like, people share his articles ironically, you know, they're like, wow, he always delivers, doesn't he? And it'll be a story about how he used to be scared of using a whisk, but these days he actually quite likes whisking. And now there's like some Sun features editor that's like, well, there's a man with his finger on the pulse. He connects with people on the socials. Get him in. And hopefully this career trajectory can continue, you know, where every Fleet Street editor and UK broadcast producer can continue to amp him up, offer him more contracts and more work. And people could just keep sharing his articles and laughing at them and his features and his think pieces, you know, keep bigging him up until finally he's hosting The Tonight Show in the US to clapping seals and canned laughter. Over to the Mail now. Will it be enough to see off Labour, they ask, following the lackluster and limpitant budget that had the Daily Star reporting it this morning as budget. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, will it be enough to see off Labour? Ask the Mail. And the answer is no. No, it won't. Very little will actually help the Conservative Party's electoral chances now. We're either a few weeks away or a few months away from the next general election, and people have just had it. You know, they're tired, they're deprived, they're broke, and they know that an extra £450 a year in your back pocket is nothing against the tidal wave of soaring bills they've had to endure from elsewhere across the economy. So no, this won't see off the opposition, and you absolutely will have your day of reckoning, lads. Like, I don't know if any of you saw it, but Dominic Cummings was on Twitter yesterday, and he was saying, any hacks looking for some electoral strategy or campaign logic to this? There isn't one. Sunak gave up long ago. If MPs put in enough letters for a vote, he would resign immediately and jump on a NetJet to California. There is no plan. There's no desire to fight. Number 10 is tumbleweed, as officials and spads plan their next jobs. I mean, it really puts that whole Labour don't have a plan stuff into context, doesn't it? You know, when they're on the breakfast sofas and they're like, don't vote Labour. They don't have a plan. You don't have a plan, Keir Starmer. Didn't I tell you when I sent out all of my ministers on the rounds that Labour don't have a plan? Like, Labour right now, they should be like, right, I mean, it sounds like your own staff don't really have a plan, mate. In fact, like, for all your talk about, you know, getting Britain back to work, getting Britain working again, increasing productivity, get people back to the office, it sounds to me like you guys are running on a skeleton staff. Will it be enough to see off Labour? I mean, here is the problem, right, with this budget for all of the Tories, right, is everyone is broke. Everyone is feeling the pain. That is inarguable at this stage. They said they would bring down the tax, but overall, it's actually gone up again. So they didn't reduce taxes. They had to hike them elsewhere to pay for these reductions, which means, once again, you know, for all of their talk of the economy's turned a corner, which, bear in mind, last time Sunak said that, the very next day, the IFS confirmed we'd gone into recession. So yeah, I mean, it's quite a bold statement to come out with twice. But anyway, for all of the talk of turning a corner, this budget means that we haven't. Like, if we'd actually turned a corner, you'd be paying for this reduction in taxes with growth. But there isn't any growth. You know, we've gone into recession, and that's why you're having to pay for these tax cuts with other adjustments elsewhere in the exchequer. So yeah, well, welcome to Tory opposite world, where we become global Britain by cutting ourselves off from it, where conservative extremists are fighting extremism, and where we will reduce taxes by increasing them. Over to the I quickly, who say Labour rule out taxing the wealthy to avoid £20 billion of cuts. 20 billion? Cripes! That is a lot of austerity right there. I'd better tighten my belt. God! And I was just about to bid for Prince William's Y-fronts. Now, a lot of people are saying the abolition of non-dom that came out of the budget yesterday effectively robs Labour of the money they were going to get from it, from them doing the same. Like, they were going to allocate that money to their own policies, their own ideas, once they got into power. So we shouldn't let that slide, because it means rather than binning non-dom out of common sense or morality, the Tories have only done this to rob Starmer and Reeves of cash they thought that they would have in their first term. I mean, doesn't it just warm the cockles? Doesn't it make you feel proud of Britain and reassured about politicians? That the decisions our government are making aren't being arrived at by any sort of pragmatic common sense, or even really an ideology, but by point-scoring schoolboys setting juvenile traps for one another. There is a bullet point on this front page that I quite like, though, because it shines a light on how politics is handled and reported in the United Kingdom. It's like the Tories / NI. They rob the incoming Labour government of money that they say that they need. It's the Tories that plunder us, plunge us into recession. And then how is it reported? No accountability, no what have they done? It's just straight to Labour, like Shadow Chancellor urged to say how she would plug the deficit. You know, and to be fair to Rachel Reeves, she's probably like, oh, well, hang on a second. They've done what? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, they've ruined the economy. Now, what are you going to do to fix it? And she's probably like, well, hang on a second. Why have they done this? Why have you asked them? Oh, no, they said that they were busy. No, what are you going to do about it, Rachel? Oh, well, I'll have to wait and see. Ah, you see? Labour don't have a plan. Well, no. It's just, I mean, you say that they've ruined the entire economy. Right, but how are you going to fix it? How are you going to fix the soiled nappy of a country that they've left you with? But shouldn't we be asking why they've done this? They should be ashamed. There should be accountability. You see, Labour don't have a plan. Sing it with me. Labour don't have a plan. You know, and then Labour are left flailing around. They're like, do we have to anticipate the other lot's cretiny now? You know, should that be baked into every manifesto that we publish? I mean, how are you supposed to run a country like that? Has Adrian Charles got a blog about that? If preparing for Tory idiocy was a sport, tell you what, lads, I'd be nailing it. My 5 do's and don'ts. Oh, well, okay, fair enough, I guess. Guys, that's it for this one. Do check out the latest episode of the podcast that may or may not include deep fakes of Grant Shapps and everyone's favourite bleached Frankenstein, Lee Anderson. That's out everywhere today, but those podcasts do always go out to Patreon backers and YouTube community members first, 2 days before everybody else. So if you want to get involved in that, go to my profile, click the join button. You can join the Discord chat. You can come to the in-person meetups. I also do a monthly or bi-monthly Skype one-to-one call. There's loads of stuff in there. Go and take a look. Or just, you know, like and subscribe and drop me a comment too. That's good. But it starts at like £3 a month, which is like, you know, that's nothing, is it? It's not even like, I think a cup of coffee from Costa is more than £3 now. So it's not even, won't even cover the cost of a coffee. But if you decide to join the £50 tier, which obviously nobody needs to, but if you did decide to join the £50 tier, I would throw in a pair of my boxers, which I think we can all agree in the current climate is a bit of a bargain. Peace.